Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Skyrim Plus. Today we're featuring Riverside Shack. Let's check out the map. Here we are at Riverside Shack. To our southwest is Mixwater Mill, to our northeast is Windhelm, and here we are again at Riverside Shack. When you arrive, you're going to be attacked by a huge black sabre cat. Oh snap, we better show no mercy. There we go. You'll get a quest update after you've killed him. Rest in pieces, the sabre cat is dead and now I can approach the shack. I should take a look around and see what I can find. When you enter the shack, you'll find the remains of the former owner and a note on the nearest table. I like a good backstory, so we're going to read it and show you how to construct the house, so if you just want a tour, the video is timestamped. The note reads, Roglin, retiring and building this little shack has been more difficult than I had anticipated. At first, everything was going rather well, but these old bones of mine don't seem up to the task anymore. Gone are the days we used to work in the mines together, lugging all of that ore without breaking a sweat. I purchased some tools from the fellow in Iverstead and found a mill with some goods just up the river. The young lady there doesn't charge too much, and even offered to deliver some supplies whenever I need them, free of charge. It's getting a little chilly now with the winter just around the corner, and a sabre cat as black as night has been roaming around the shack. I've never seen anything like him. So far I've kept him at bay with my torch, but at this rate, I'm going to run out of firewood soon. He should get the message and give up eventually, then I can get back to building this shack and staying warm for the winter. Maybe I'll even be able to expand the garden next season. I do hope you're doing well up in Solitude, and you're not drinking up too much of the mead. Not the place for me anymore with the commotion of the war. I do miss the old docks though, watching the ships come through and the sound of the birds overhead. Anyway, don't worry about me. Get yourself out of that old tavern and come see me. The walk's not so bad from where the carriage drops you off. Then you just follow the river down. Your old friend, Ernst. Well, that was interesting. Let's check the quest objectives and see if it's been updated. Rest in pieces. I found a letter addressed to a man named Roglin written by the previous owner, Ernst. In the letter, he talks about his plans to build the shack and retire here away from the war in Skyrim. He was having trouble with the sabre cat and thought it would eventually leave him alone. Unfortunately, it looks like Ernst was one of the sabre cat's final meals, and he never got a chance to send this letter to his friend. You can either burn the letter or deliver the letter. Let's deliver the letter and pay this guy off with the proper respect. But before we leave, let's go ahead and take one look around at the shack before we do any renovations, so you'll get a true appreciation for how much work you've put in once we've finished. As you can see, it's been left in shambles. You've got a tanning rack and a basic bed, and the remains of the former owner, but that's about it. On the outside, you have a few leaks on this side of the shack. And on the other side of the shack, not much. It's pretty desolate out here. Lastly, we'll check out the construction area, and as you can see, it's been left in disrepair. It looks like we've got some work to do. But first, we need to track down Ernst's friend. After a little research, we've traced Roglin's location to Solitude, and I found him on the top floor of the Winking Skeever. Are you Roglin?
What can I do for you, friend?
I'm sorry to tell you this, but your friend, Ernst, is dead.
Oh my word, this is terrible. Can you tell me more about what you saw?
A sabre cat killed him at his new home. He had this letter for you.
Thank you for bringing this to me. I'll make sure he gets his rights. Here, for your trouble. All right then.
Tooth and nail. It's time to rebuild this old shack. The previous owner should have had some tools around the shack somewhere I can use. The surrounding trees and rocks should provide me with enough materials. Find the tools: hammer, saw, shovel, and scissors. First, we'll find the shovel in the garden next to the home. Next, you'll find the scissors inside of the home to the left on the shelf. Lastly, you'll find your last two items, the hammer and the saw, right near the workbench area that you need to repair. Once you've gathered everything, you'll want to check your quest log. Tooth and nail. Now that I have all of the required tools, I should repair the workbench. Some of the already gathered saw logs will be useful. Objectives: check the saw logs. Okay, let's go over and see what we've got. Okay, here's where we keep the saws. It says there are more than enough saw logs for what I need to get started. Although I can see the mill up the river being useful should I require more. Time to get this workbench repaired. Objectives: repair the workbench, 5 hours. So this is a builder-upper, so you'll need time and materials to build the home back to its former glory, and even better. So let's go over here and repair the workbench. And look at that, it looks much better now. You also have an anvil that's repaired. There's your saw log area again. And there's nothing over there in that stone area yet, but we will eventually put something over there. Let's check the quest. With the workbench repaired, there's a lot of war to be done. I think that meant to be work. And I'm going to need more materials. I should head up the river to Mixwater Mill and see what they have available. Buy supplies from Gilfrey at Mixwater Mill. Okay, looks like we're headed to the mill. I'll meet you up there in just a second. Okay, we've made it to the mill. Let's go talk to this lady. I'd like to buy some building supplies.
Sure thing, friend. I'll even have it delivered to your building site. No charge.
I'll take a crate's worth.
Doing some building, eh? We can deliver it wherever you need. I used to have 5 good men who worked the mill with me. Then this war started and they all ran off.
Whoa.
Idiots.
Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of the renovations off camera and meet you back at the home for a final tour. We are back at the shack post-renovation, and if you see that box with the anvil on it, that's where the supplies go that you buy from the mill. It looks like we also have our anvil rebuilt. There is your sawn log pile. And then over here we actually got to build a smelter. So you've got your anvil and smelter on top, and you also have a wood chopping block right beside that. And as we go down the stairs, you can see that we've built an apiary. And then to this side, you see a little scarecrow, and it's guarding these 3 fertile soils. You could have just kept the leeks from earlier, but I chose to make the soils so I can make some money off of alchemy later. Let's close that gate. And over here, you've got a little area to prepare your fish that you catch. You have several of these lanterns throughout the property that you could extinguish or light. There's your grindstone and your tanning rack. And you have some riverside dining right there. And here's a fishing boat. You can go fishing for 3 hours. If you followed the river straight that way, you would end up somewhere around Windhelm. Over here you have your very own fish hatchery. I don't personally use one of those, but if you do, that's pretty neat. There's a workbench and another anvil. So you do have, in total, a complete smithing suite. And it's really neat that you can look in the door and the window of your home, because it's a no-load door home. Over here you've got a little horse stable and an outhouse. And if you look at this book, just as we expected, The Lusty Argonian Maid, Volume 1. Oh look, it's our friend Roglin. I think he's paying his respects to Ernst. And then there's Ernst's grave. Here lies Ernst, a dear friend, mead drinker, and man of the mines. Another pro is if you have sky shards installed, you've got one right next to your house. Time to head inside. Behold the fruit of our labor. Riverside Shack is beautifully lit, and it just feels like home. Let's see what features this place has to offer. Starting by the front door, we have key storage, and this pull chain actually opens and closes the window shutters. Right below the window, you have an alchemy lab, and they have drawers underneath to store potions or ingredients. Next to your alchemy area, you have an arcane enchanter, and next to that, we have a bookshelf for the bookworms of Skyrim, and above that, we have a shield rack. And if you like that, you can get that at BDOR or Alpha Shields. And then I also mounted the head of the sabre cat that we killed initially. Over here, you also have some nice artwork and a table for two. You've got a nice warm fireplace with a slaughter fish mounted above it and a cooking pot. And you can light that fire by either firewood or fire salts. You've got another shield rack over here. And then you have some nice artwork of a standing stone, a weapons rack that can hold 3 swords or bows. And then over here you have a little room that contains a safe, and you can open and shut this door to conceal the safe. And here's the key for the safe. I think it's safe to say this is the most times you've heard safe today. Let's close this door for safe keeping. Walking up this ladder gives you some access to some general storage. And in the bedroom, you have the option to roll out a bedroll for a follower. And if you want to conceal it, you just click underneath the bed to place the bedroll back. And it looks like you've got a midnight snack with that sweet roll on your bedstand. And then if you want to change the color of your drapes, you can activate them, and you have several options. You can also change the color of your sheets by going into sneak mode and then activating the bed sheets. I'm not trying to really make it match at this point, I just wanted to show you the function. You also have a little map of Skyrim, and by the goat horn lamp in that chest, you have the treasure map. I believe it's treasure map 3. And this wash basin is actually a change appearance wash basin, kind of like a change appearance mirror or the Riften sculptor. Okay, it's time for final thoughts. I like that this home gave us a quest, backstory, and the task to renovate the home. I hardly ever used the home in the vanilla game, so this gives the original shack a better purpose. You feel immersed by performing the renovation, as well as the small things like being able to change the color of your curtains and sheets, and lighting candles, lanterns, and fires. You have all expected crafting stations, a fish hatchery, a cooking pot, and a change appearance basin, all within the friendly confines of a no-load door home. I hope you've enjoyed this home as much as I have. This concludes our tour of Riverside Shack. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and leave a comment with your thoughts. To see more of my past tours, click the playlist on the top left. To see my future content, click the channel icon on the bottom left to subscribe. And to never miss an episode, click the bell icon to receive notifications of when I post. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode.